Hey there! Today I'm going to show you how to make these amazing cream-filled buns, soft on the outside and rich with silky custard inside. I've tried a bunch of recipes and baking methods, and let me tell you, it's way easier than it looks. Let's start with the craquelin. That's the crisp cookie layer on top. Grab 33 grams of soft butter and mix it with 40 grams of sugar. Once that's combined, add 40 grams of all-purpose flour and stir it into a soft dough using a spatula. Place the dough on one half of a sheet of parchment paper, then fold the other half over the top. Fold in the edges to make a neat little rectangle and roll it out until it's about 3 millimeters thick. Pop it onto a cutting board and stick it in the freezer for 15 minutes. After it firms up, cut out circles using a cutter the same size as your puffs. Mine's 4 centimeters in diameter. Place the cutouts back in the freezer. You can re-roll the leftover dough and repeat. Now for the Choux pastry. Crack 3 room temperature eggs into a bowl. Beat them lightly and set aside. Don't chill them. In a saucepan with a thick bottom, add 60 grams of butter, 62 grams of water, and 62 grams of milk. Yay! You have to be very precise here. Heat it on low until the butter melts. Then bring it to a light boil for 10 seconds and turn off the heat. Now sift in 70 grams of high-protein flour. I use flour with 12 grams of protein per 100. It helps with gluten structure. Grab a spatula and mix it right away, making sure to break up any lumps. Once the dough comes together and looks nice and smooth, turn the heat back on low and cook it for about 1 to 1.5 minutes. Keep stirring the whole time, and whatever you do, don't let it burn. Transfer the dough to a mixing bowl and spread it out so it cools for about a minute. Here comes the crucial part, adding the eggs. Add the egg mixture little by little, about 4 or 5 additions, and mix well after each one. You might not need all of it, so keep an eye on the texture. Stop once the dough is soft and smooth, and when it falls off your spatula in a nice V shape, just like this. Scoop the dough into a piping bag. I actually just learned a super handy way to tie it. First, adjust the dough so it's sitting nicely. Make the cut with a pair of scissors. Then twist the bag a couple of times like this. And that's it. Just tie it off and you're good to go. Place the cutter you use for the craquelin right on the parchment paper and dust around it with a little flour. Make sure to leave about 4 centimeters of space between each one so the little guys have space to puff up nicely. Cut a 1 centimeter opening on your piping bag and pipe rounds of dough inside your guides. Place a craquelin circle right on top of each and press gently so it sticks. Only do this step just before baking. Bake for 10 minutes at 210 degrees S, then drop it to 180 degrees S and go for another 12 minutes. That first burst of heat puffs them up, and the second part bakes them through and gives them that golden color. Let the puffs cool completely. They should be crisp outside and hollow inside. No collapsing. Now, let's make the custard. Start by whisking 2 egg yolks with 40 grams of sugar until the mixture turns a pale yellow. Then add 20 grams of flour and give it a good mix. Heat up 200 milliliters of milk in a saucepan until it just starts to boil. Slowly pour the hot milk into the egg mixture while whisking constantly. This helps keep the eggs from scrambling. Pour everything back into the saucepan and cook over medium heat, stirring the whole time. Be patient and keep stirring. It'll come together, I promise. Cook the custard until it's nice and smooth and starts bubbling with big pops. Once it's ready, transfer the custard to a bowl. Press some plastic wrap right against the surface so it doesn't form a skin, and pop it in the freezer for about 15 minutes to chill. Meanwhile, whip 170 milliliters of cold heavy cream with 15 grams of powdered sugar until soft peaks form. 15 minutes later. The custards firmed up and set perfectly. Then gently fold in the cooled custard. And that's your filling. Alright, it is time to fill those buns. Use a chopstick to poke a hole in the bottom. Pipe in the cream slowly, rotating the puff for even filling. I recommend filling them about 2 hours before serving so they can soften slightly in the fridge. I just love that sound. Look at all that cream. They're springy, soft, and seriously delicious. Wonderful. And that's a wrap for today. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button and check out my other recipes. Thanks for watching. See you next time.